Hey everybody, it's Pixelation. How was your holidays? I hope they were good, because we are now going to jump way ahead into the distant future that is next week. So, you may remember that back in September, I posted a video talking about all of the titles that were going to be airing during the fall season, and there was a lot. There was a lot of anime that was airing during the fall season. I'm not going to talk about those anime yet. I'm hoping to do a anime roundup in the near future. It may take a little bit of time, but I'm hoping to get that out very soon. But until then, what I want to do is I want to take a look at some of the titles that are going to be airing in the winter 2018 season, which it seems like there's not as many titles airing during that season as there were during the fall. So it might be easier to keep track of a lot of the titles that are like going to be the talk of the town. It was a lot harder in the fall because I kept up with like 18 different shows. But that said, the same stuff applies as in my last video. This is really just my preliminary thoughts, my opinions, just based on sheer what I've heard, just stuff that I have, like I said, some stuff that I've heard, stuff that I've just based on the description of the series, based on the key visual. The studio will also play a big part, and I'll also try to inform y'all of when it starts in Japan. Sometimes I may forget, but if you would like to follow along with me, I'm using Anichart.net, which is my resource that I use for all of my upcoming anime needs. They are really on top of things when it comes to when they're coming out, what is all going to be available, and even all the studios are pretty solid. So I'm really excited to get into this. So without further ado, let's jump into winter 2018. So starting off the season is Violet Evergarden, which is another title by Kyoto Animation, which I'm really excited about because of the fact that Kyoto Animation produced one of my favorite series of all time, actually my favorite series of all time, Clannad, and they also produced Love to Nibio and Other Delusions, which is really good, and I just recently watched that, and I really enjoy that. So I'm really excited to see what's next from Kyo Ani. I've seen a little bit of the trailer for Violet Evergarden, and it seems really interesting. It looks really, really beautiful. I don't know if it's going to be on Crunchyroll. That's the thing that I have a problem with, to be honest with you, is that most of the titles that I want to see are on streaming platforms that I don't have and I can't afford, which is like really just gut-wrenching to me because I really, like this past season, I wanted to watch Yukio Holder, I wanted to watch the new season of Yuki Yuna, I wanted to watch Inuyasuki, and several other ones that I wanted to see that I just couldn't watch because I don't like to download them illegally, okay? I don't like to do that anymore. Like, I think we all have a phase, we all have a phase where we do that, but now that I'm starting to understand that people's livelihoods are impacted by that kind of thing, I just don't really like to do it. I'm not going to shame you for it, but it's just a personal decision of mine. And so, if I have the option, I would like to buy the streaming services, but I'm broke. So, that was kind of a tangent, but the point stands, is I really, really hope Violet Evergarden gets picked up by Crunchyroll. Though I think I've heard recently that it's being picked up by Netflix, which means that it will probably get a 2019 air date because Netflix has no idea how to handle simuldubs or simulcasts. So either way, that was an even bigger tangent. Let's jump into the Violet Evergarden description here. Auto Memories Doll. It's been quite a while since that name caused a fuss. Originally invented by Professor Orland solely for his beloved wife, Auto Memories dolls eventually spread out into the world, and a machine that allows people to rent out the dolls was also created. Quote, I will run as fast as I can to wherever my customer desires. I am the Auto Memories doll, Violet Evergarden. A girl who almost appears to have popped out of a fairy tale with her blonde hair and blue eyes said this with her inorganic beauty and sweet voice. So like I said, Violet Evergarden is by Kyoto Animation, and it seems to remind me a little bit of like Plastic Memories. but I think it's going for a different style because of the fact, the robots and the androids. I have a feeling it's a different style. It's not going to go for the same kind of themes. But I'm really excited to see what they do with it. I really hope that I'm able to watch it. And that one airs on January 10th. So go ahead. If you're interested in that, put that on your calendar. We're going to go ahead and move on, shall we? Next up, we've got Overlord 2. Overlord Season 2. Now, I have not seen Overlord Season 1. I know it's like just a repeat of last season where there were a lot of sequels that I couldn't watch because I hadn't seen the original. And it's one of those things where it's like, at first, when Overlord first came out, I wasn't really all that interested in it. I actually was more like kind of meh about it. Like, I didn't have any strong opinions regarding it. I didn't really not like it. I just didn't know. I was like, whatever. It's one of those series that I just kind of resigned to the fact that I probably would never watch it because I couldn't afford it. But I can't remember if it's on any streaming services. But I would imagine it's on Funimation because I think they have the license to it. But that said, now that I know what Overlord is about, I'm actually more inclined to watch it now because from what I understand, it's like a MMO isekai show that is good, which is kind of a weird combination, but that's what I've heard. I've heard that it's good, and I'm kind of interested. I kind of want to see what it's about. It is produced by Madhouse, and I don't remember a lot of what Madhouse has done. I know Madhouse, it's not coming to mind what Madhouse has done that I would have seen. But yeah, that one is coming out on January 9th. So yeah, same deal applies. If you want to see Overlord 2, if you are excited about Overlord 2, let me know in the comments in like 5 words or less why I should watch Overlord. Just go ahead and bring it. Give me all of the short, sweet 5-word synopses of Overlord 2. Anyway. Next up, we've got FateExtra Last Encore. Now, I have recently, finally, finished watching Fate Stay Night, the original from like the 2000s or whenever that damn show came out. And I really enjoyed it. I knew I would because I enjoyed Fate Zero. And granted, I enjoyed Fate Zero a lot more than I enjoyed Fate Stay Night. But the point is I enjoyed the Fate series. And I watched Fate Stay Night because I was interested in getting the what was it? I was interested in eventually watching all of the Fate series up to Apocrypha because that's apparently on Netflix or gonna be on Netflix or something. And I really wanted to watch that, but I wanted to watch the other ones before, so I had kind of a context to base it in. And so now all I have left to watch is I'm gonna watch Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and then I'm gonna try to watch Heaven's Feel. And then I'm going to rewatch Fate Zero. And then I'm going to watch Apocrypha. But that said, FateExtra Last Encore. Now, apparently it's an adaptation of the video game FateExtra. So I don't know if it's connected in any way to the Stay Night universe or the Apocrypha universe. Because I've heard they're different. Waking up in a strange virtual world with no recollection of the past, Hakuno finds himself forced to fight for survival in a war he does not understand. For a prize beyond value, the opportunity to have one's wish granted. With only an enigmatic servant by his side, Hakuno Kishinami will have to face both friends and foes in battles to the death in order to not only gain possession of a mysterious object known as the Holy Grail, but also to find the answer to the most important question of all: who am I? So that is actually produced by Shaft, which I'm really interested in because I love Shaft. Shaft Studios is fantastic. They produced the Monogatari series, Negima, the second season, and the OVAs, Madoka Magica, March Comes In Like a Lion. All those shows, Arakawa Under the Bridge. Shaft is awesome. Okay, now I'm sure it will take no time at all for someone to take that out of context, but the truth is, Studio Shaft is great. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead every time I say their name, I'm gonna preface it with Studio Shaft. Studio Shaft is fantastic. So anyway, but yeah, that's coming out. That's gonna be airing at the end of January. It's January 27th. And it looks like they're not sure how many episodes it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be like a full series or if it's gonna be like a special, like Grand Order was. But either way, that's happening. Next up, we got Nanatsu no Taizai Imashime no Fukatsu, which is the second season of Seven Deadly Sins, Nanatsu no Taizai, by A1 Pictures. I have not seen, this is another one, I have not seen the first season of Nanatsu no Taizai. I don't know. I just never really saw the appeal. I kind of want to try it just to say that I tried it, and I think it's on Netflix. I don't remember if it was licensed by Netflix or by Funimation. But that said, now that the second season's out or coming out, I may end up giving the first season a try so that I can, say that I actually watched it. There's no description of it, but it does air on January 5th. So keep that in mind if you're interested in Nanatsu no Taizai Season 2. That is by A1 Pictures. I'm kind of on the fence about A1 Pictures, not gonna lie. I think that I prefer when A1 Pictures does, slice of life stuff. I love Working, I love Servant X Service, I love the Blend S, but then again, they also did Sword Art Online, and it's not my favorite anime, and, it's just kind of, when I hear A1 Pictures, I'm just like, But then again, I'm not going to judge the studio onto their past work. I mean, I will, but, I'm not going to stop watching them because they made one bad series. I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. Because they have too many good series for me to, I have too many good memories with A1 Pictures Slice of Life series that it would be a shame if I just only watched them. So I do want to give it a try just because it looks cool. So next up is Citrus, which is continuing in the trend of... tasteful Yuri, okay? With NTR, Netsuzo Trap, which I call it tasteful Yuri because it was allowed to be on Crunchyroll, and if you know Crunchyroll, you know that they don't traditionally post too many things that are, overly raunchy. It's mostly a family-friendly service, right? And I'm pretty sure that's, the most lewd they have gotten, and believe me, NTR was kind of lewd. It was kind of, it was trash. Let's be real, but it was probably the lewdest thing that they have on their service, right? Because that's not what they're known for. But apparently they're getting Citrus, and Citrus is, from what I understand, is along the same lines. But I've heard that it's better than Netsuzo Trap, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. That is produced by Passion. Never heard of the studio before, but you never know. It might turn out to be pretty good. I'll probably watch it. It's going to be on Crunchyroll. I'll probably add it to my watch list. We'll see. It is. The description says Yuzuko Aihara, a high school girl whose main interests are fashion, friends, and having fun, is about to get a reality check. Due to her mom's remarriage, Yuzu has transferred to a new all-girls school that is extremely strict. Her real education is about to begin. From day one, happy-go-lucky Yuzu makes enemies, namely the beautiful yet stern student council president Mei. So what happens when a dejected Yuzu returns home and discovers the shock of her life that Mei is actually her new stepsister who has come to live with her? Even more surprising when Mei catches Yuzu off guard and kisses her out of the blue. What does it all mean? So this is basically the Yuri era manga sensei. They're not actually real sisters, it's totally okay, right? Okay, anyway, I'm not even gonna get into that. That is airing on January 6th, so if you are interested in pseudo-incest Yuri relationships, then that is the series for you. That's what you should watch. And yeah. So okay. Let's move on. Next up is Death March Kara Hajimaru Isekai Kyoso Kyoku, which, if I remember right, the English title is Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And that's by Silverlink, which Silverlink is becoming one of my favorite studios because they produced my anime of the year, which I'm not going to reveal yet. I just gave you a clue, though. Go look at what Silverlink produced this past season. I just gave you even more of a hint. And you'll find out what my anime of the year is before I make the video. I just ruined that. Anyway, but yes, it's produced by Silverlink, but it is an isekai show, so I'm going to walk into it with a healthy amount of skepticism because... for example, in Another World with my smartphone was the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I only watched the first episode, but that's all I needed to see. I had that feeling, it was just, nah, I'm good. But then again, ReZero was a really good show, so I'm hoping that, I'm not saying that all isekai is terrible, it's just a lot of it is. So I'm hoping this is on the good side rather than on the bad side. It says, the story of the light novel series and manga follows a 29-year-old programmer who is on a death march, but one day he wakes up in another world after a nap. From a meteor shower, he happens to gain vast riches, and he decides to go sightseeing. So begins his heartwarming, occasionally serious, and harem adventure in another world. Oh no. Oh no. It's gonna be bad. It's just, I have that feeling. It's gonna be shit. But that being said, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, okay? I'm willing to admit, if it turns out to be good, I will be the first person who comes onto Twitter, by the way, at pixelation_, and tells you that this show is great, okay? I'm just saying. First thoughts is, oh my gosh, this is gonna be shit. But, that being said, it might not be shit, so who knows? We'll find out on, January 11th. So, if you're interested in Death March to the Parallel World Rhapsody, go check that out on January 11th. Next up, we've got a show that I'm personally excited for, and that is, Darling in the Franxx. Which is a new Trigger anime, but it's co-produced by Trigger and A1 Pictures. So we'll see. Trigger's involved, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like top-notch quality. But we will see. It looks really cool. It's just that the character designs kind of look, at least the majority of the character designs look kind of meh. The pink-haired girl in the who is like in all of the promos, she looks pretty cool. Like, her character design is, like, top-notch, but, like, everybody else kind of seems like traditional anime protagonists, and so I'm just kind of, I'm gonna approach this with another healthy bit of skepticism, but I think this is gonna be more, how do I say this? This is more likely to be good than it is to be bad, because I have yet to encounter a Trigger anime that I dislike. So, and granted, I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a majority of them, and I have a hard time disliking Trigger anime. So I'm hoping this is going to be continuing in that tradition, but we'll see, I guess. It's a joint anime project between Trigger and A1 Pictures that was announced at Anime Expo 2017. The story is set in the distant future. The land is ruined and humanity establishes the mobile Fort City Plantation. Pilots produced inside Plantation live in Misteltein, also known as the Birdcage. Children live there knowing nothing of the outside world or the freedom of the sky. Their lives consist of battling to carry out missions. Their enemies are mysterious giant life forms known as Kyoryu, and the children pilot robots called Franxx to face off against them. For the children, riding the Franxx proves their existence. A boy named Hiro is called Code 16, and he was once known as a prodigy. However, he has fallen behind and his existence seems unnecessary. Not piloting a Franxx is the same as ceasing to exist. One day, a mysterious girl known as 02 appears before him. 2 horns grow out of her head. So that really doesn't tell us much about the series itself, but that does give us a kind of a setup for the world building that they're going to do, and I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of interested to see how they expand upon this, because it really could be, this is one title that I anticipate being the anime of the season. But that is just my base preliminary opinion. That is not, there's no authority behind that. There's no evidence behind it. It's just that maybe it's because I hope that it's good, that I hope that it's an anime of the season. I don't know. But either way, that airs on January 13th. So keep that in mind, January 13th. So next up we got Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card Hen, or Clear Card Arc, or whatever, Clear Card Saga, whatever. By Madhouse. That's another Madhouse title. This is continuing Cardcaptor Sakura. Now, I remember I watched a little bit of the Cardcaptors series back in the day, back when it was localized on, what was it? Was it 4Kids or was it on WB or whatever? One of those channels back when I was a kid, and it was heavily censored and heavily bastardized. But And I think I've seen like one of the movies since then, like in the original dub or then like not the original dub, like when they redubbed the movies. I think I watched one of them, but I haven't seen the series in any capacity beyond that. So I don't know if I'm gonna be jumping into this because I really don't know. I don't have any connection to the series anymore. But if they decide to maybe like I don't know, is the series on Crunchyroll? If it's on Crunchyroll, I might give it a try just to catch up with it, but it won't be during the season, I guarantee you. But yeah, so that is a 14-year-old Sakura starts junior high school along with her friends, including Sauron, who has just returned to Tomoeda. After having a dream with a mysterious cloaked figure, all of Sakura's cards turn blank and are rendered powerless. Thus, she starts her quest to find out what is wrong. In doing so, Sakura and her allies discover and capture new transparent cards using a new key. Okay, so that gives you some ideas of where it could possibly go. I was about to say, if it's just going to restart from scratch, might as well watch it, because if they're just going to reset. But I think it's not necessarily a reset. It's more along the lines of something has caused her cards to turn clear as, clear card heart. Okay, anyway. But that's airing on January 6th. So, keep that in mind when you are planning your season. Okay, next up, we got Koi wa Ame Agari no Yuni. I'm sorry, I just butchered the Japanese language, as per usual. That is by Wit Studio. What studio did Attack on Titan? They did, they are also doing a new Pokemon movie. I heard that. Now, I'm not a huge Pokemon guy, but I've heard that. That's happening. Akira Tachibana is a soft-spoken high school student who used to be part of the track and field club, but due to an injury, she is no longer able to run as fast as she once could. Working part-time at a family restaurant as a recourse, she finds herself inexplicably falling in love with her manager, a divorced 45-year-old man with a young son. Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, that makes perfect sense, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's move on to Grand Crest Senki. I have no idea. It sounds familiar. The name sounds familiar, but I can't figure out where I've heard it. Grand Crest Senki. I don't know. It's based on a light novel. I thought it was based on it might have been a game. I don't know. But it's by A1 Pictures. The series takes place on a continent ruled by chaos. The chaos breeds disaster, but the lords of the continent have the power of Crest, Holy Seal, that can calm the chaos and protect the people. However, before anyone realizes it, the rulers cast aside their creed of purifying the chaos and instead start to fight against each other for each other's crests and to gain dominion over one another. Siluka, an isolated mage who scorns the lords for abandoning their creed, and a wandering knight named Theo, who is on a journey to train to one day liberate his hometown, which is under tyrannical rule, make an everlasting oath to each other as master and servant, and work together to reform this continent dominated by wars and chaos. So, okay, there's a lot of information to pack into that, but it does, I mean, it seems like it might be interesting. I'm not gonna knock it yet. I mean, it is A1 Pictures, so you gotta approach it with some skepticism, but, kind of reminds me, the first thing I think of is the Fate series with the master-servant thing and the fight between each other, like a death game to get chaos, crests or whatever. But that airs on January 5th, so if that sounds interesting to you, then put that on your schedule. Next up, we got Saiki Kusuo no something Nantu. I don't know how to say that, but I'm pretty sure it's the disastrous life of Saiki K. I thought that was a TV short, but maybe not. Maybe the second season's going to be longer. I don't know. But that is coming, and I have no idea. I have no connection to that. But it is, there's no studio that's listed on here. That's a surprise. But that airs on January 16th. So if you saw the first season and you are interested in continuing the story, then you can do that on January 16th. So we got, next up we got Karakai Jozo no Takagi-san by Shin-A Animation. Character design looks cute, so let's see. If you blush, you lose. Living by this principle, the middle schooler Nishikata gets constantly made fun of by his seat neighbor Takagi-san. With his pride shattered to pieces, he vows to turn the tables and get back at her someday. And so he attempts to tease her day after day, only to find himself victim to Takagi-san's ridicule again sooner than later. Will he be able to make Takagi-san blush from embarrassment even once in the end? Probably. The question has been answered already, and it probably, yes. But yeah, that seems interesting. That's probably something that I'm gonna try to, as long as I can watch it, I probably will watch it, because I enjoy slice of life stuff. That's just my preferred genre of anime, with exception, obviously, but, you know, this seems interesting. So that airs January 8th, so keep that in mind. Next up, we got Beatless. Let's see. It's by Diomedia. Ooh, okay, I like Diomedia. I think I like I like Diomedia. I can't remember. I know they did The Lost Village, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but I can't remember. There was another series that I recently mentioned that I liked by Diomedia. Girlish Number, I think, was by Diomedia, and I really liked Girlish Number. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna. That sounds about right. But it's Beatless. I believe in that smile, even if you don't have a soul. 2105 AD Japan, the humanoid android Hiei became part of people's life and was handling the things humans could do and couldn't do. Endo Arato, unlike his friends Kenko and Ryo who hate Hiei, felt sympathy for Hiei, which are supposed to be just objects. One night, Arato suddenly gets assaulted by mysterious falling cherry blossoms that make Hiei and machines run havoc. Will the cornered Arato be saved by the mysterious Hiei Lassia? Maybe I'll like it. I don't know. Based on that synopsis, I'm not sure. I'm gonna add that to the maybe list. But that airs on January 12th, so if you're interested in that, you know what to do. Next up, we got Kokoku. There we go. Kokoku by Geno Studio. Juri Yukawa lives with her neat father and brother, her retired grandfather, her sister, and her young nephew. One day, her nephew and brother are kidnapped for ransom. Having only 30 minutes to meet the demands of the kidnappers, Juri, who realizes there is not enough time to prepare the money, decides to head for their rescue by herself with knife in hand when her grandfather uses a mysterious stone passed on in the Yukawa family to stop time. In a world where everyone and everything are inert, Juri and her father and grandfather run to rescue the two. But at the kidnappers' hideout, they soon realize that they are not the only ones who can move about in this still world. Huh. Wait, so they're kidnapped, and then they stop time, and okay, that seems interesting. I don't know what to think about that, but it does seem interesting. Although, I can tell you right now, this is one series that I know is going to be Anime Strike. I know it's going to be it just seems the kind of series that would be Anime Strike. That is going to be airing on January 7th, so keep that in mind if you want to watch that. Oh boy! Yes! Boy, we are entering into an era of kick-ass anime, okay? Next up, we got Pop Team Epic, okay? Now, Pop Team Epic, if you are unaware, is the funniest piece of shit I have ever read on the internet. I think. I don't know. It's... I haven't read the whole manga, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've read the whole thing. But I have read several of the... several pages that I've just found on the internet, you know? And... it's just the way that it is animated and the way that it's drawn and the way that the humor is, it is straight up the most meme-centric, just hilarious internet culture manga ever. And so I'm really excited to, what I've heard about people who have read the actual manga, they've said it's really good from what I understand. And I really want to get my hands on the actual manga so I can just read the whole thing from start to finish. But what I have read is fantastic. The surreal four-panel manga centers around two 14-year-old girls, the short Popoko and tall Pipimi. It's by Kamikaze Doga. I never heard of the studio, but I've heard that this anime was happening for like 6 months now, and I was just like, when is it happening? When is it happening? But now we know it is happening January 5th. So if you are as excited as I am to see Pop Team Epic, and if you don't know what Pop Team Epic is, go look it up. It's fantastic. Even if you just read like 2 or 3 pages, it's all like I said, it's a 4-panel manga, so it's just like short independent stories that are just like the punchline is just there. It's like you don't have to really invest yourself into it. It's just really short, sweet, to the point, but it's really funny. So go check it out if you I got way too excited for that shit. Okay. Next up we got Hakata Tonkotsu Ramens by Satellite. At first glance, the city of Fukuoka seems like a peaceful one, but under the surface, crime is running rampant. The city's Hakata ward is home to the professionals of the underworld. Professional killers, detective informants, professional revenge seekers, those skilled in torture, and more. And according to urban legend, a killer of professional killers has shown up in the city. Killer? Killer? Really? Is it? It's not Killer. It's different. Okay. Anyway, that based on that description, it does seem interesting though. I think I might want to check that out. I think that is airing on Crunchyroll. I think I heard that was airing on Crunchyroll. So I'm gonna check that out. It seems like it'll be really interesting. Kind of reminds me of like the Player Killers and like .hack GU and stuff like that. And so yeah. So that airs on January 12th. So keep that in mind. Of course, you know what to do. Next up, we got Ito Junji Collection by Studio Dean. Stories from both the 11-volume Ito Junji Kasakushu series and the Fragments of Horror book will be adapted. Now, I've heard a lot about this in the recent weeks. Junji Ito is apparently this really renowned Japanese horror writer, and I'm really interested in this particular anime because it seems like it's going to be more short-form stories, and it's going to be kind of like a anthology series, and that's something that I think is more, especially where anime is concerned. I think that if you're going to try to make a horror anime, it might be better off. I mean, again, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of horror anime, but it seems like you'd be better off doing those short, sweet anthology-style stories rather than trying to make it into this overarching narrative. So I'm really excited to see how this pans out, and I think that's also going to be on Crunchyroll. So yeah, that airs on January 5th. So, alright, next up we got Yuru Camp, which I think is a laid-back camp in the English language. Rin likes to go camping by herself along the lakes that provide a scenic view of Mount Fuji. Narashiko loves to take cycling trips by herself to places where she can see Mount Fuji. After they meet, Rin and Narashiko take camping trips, eat cup ramen together, and enjoy the scenery. That seems fantastic. I'm so excited to see how that plays out. It sounds like the perfect slice of life that I am just so into. If it's anything like Non Non Biori, then or like either Non Non Biori or like what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but there was a series that aired back in 2016. I can't remember. But yeah, if it's anything like Nanambiori, then I will love it. So, yeah, that is by C Station. I never heard of them. But I don't care. I will still... It's a new studio that I could possibly add to my list of favorites. And that's on January 4th. So, yeah. Hakume to Mikochi. 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches tall. The tiny girls Hakume and Mikochi live in the forest, living in a tiny house in a tree, riding insects and birds, and making umbrellas out of leaves. These tiny girls live a tiny life. Follow their tiny but lovely lives as they live their day-to-day in a fantastic world of tiny people and gods. And that's by Lurke or Lurche. I don't really care. That seems interesting. And just because you know me, I love my slice of life. You know I love my slice of life, and it seems like a really, really good slice of life, inspired like by the Borrowers or by like the Secret Life of Arietti or whatever. And that is actually airing on January 12th. So, bam, there you go, January 12th. Next up, Mitsuboshi Colors. Now, not to be confused with Mitsubishi Colors. That's by Silverlink. So, boom, Silverlink. Silverlink is a great studio, as I said before. Hark, the city is in peril. Who are you going to call? Colors. Sachan, Yui, and Kotoha are here to protect the city, solving mysteries and battling enemies with help from their friends. But their quest isn't an easy one, as their arch nemesis Saito, the violent police officer of Ueno, meets them at every turn. Okay, so like Powerpuff Girls meets Urahara meets Frosty the Snowman because the cop is a bad guy. I don't know. January 7th. That comes out January 7th. I'm gonna give that a try if I'm able, because that seems interesting. It kind of reminds me of Urahara, which Urahara was, and I'll expand upon this in my roundup, but Urahara was a big surprise for me. I thought about dropping it several times, but I'm glad that I stuck it out, so either way. Next up, we've got Gakuen Babysitters by Brainspace. Now, Brainspace has done something recently that I enjoyed, but I forget what they did. But let's see. The manga centers on the brothers Ryuichi and Kotaro Kishima. Ryuichi is in high school, and Kotaro is still a toddler. After their parents are killed in a plane crash, the two brothers find themselves living with the chairwoman of the Morinomiya Academy, who herself lost her son and daughter-in-law in the same accident. The chairwoman, however, has one stipulation for the brothers in order to live with her. Ryuichi has to work at the academy's daycare as a babysitter. Okay, so that seems innocent enough. I'm glad it's innocent enough because it could have easily gone in a really dark direction like they did with freaking Kodomo no Jikan. Now, granted, I've never seen Kodomo no Jikan, but I know enough about Kodomo no Jikan not to know that I'm never going to watch Kodomo no Jikan. Despite how good the ending song is or whatever, despite how good the ending song is, that show is on like a blacklist. That song is like on a blacklist that I really don't want to enter, so yeah, anyway. But yeah, so that seems interesting. I don't know if it's going to be like consistently good or if it's going to be like one of those series that kind of starts good and fades or starts bad and gets out. I don't know. But if you're interested in that, it airs on January 7th, so. Next up, Toji no Miko by Studio Gokumi, which Studio Gokumi is on my awesome list because they produced Suradure Children, which was like my anime of the season for the summer, and I am hoping they bring back season 2, but I'm ready to see what else they got up their sleeve. So, Toji no Miko. Since ancient times, shrine maidens who wield swords have been exercising aratama, strange existences that threaten the human world. These young women who wear school uniforms and a sword are called toji, and they serve as an official unit within the police force as a special religious service police squad. The government authorizes the toji to wear swords and serve as government officials, and the government has set up 5 schools throughout the country for the girls to attend. The girls live ordinary school lives while occasionally performing their duties, wielding their swords, and using various powers to fight and protect the people. Okay, so that seems interesting, I guess. Not really it's not really one of the not really one of the stories that I'm like rushing to see, but I am interested because it is Studio Gokumi, so hopefully they get it on Crunchyroll. But that's airing on January 5th, so schedule that up. Next up, we got Zoku Token Ranbu Hanamaru by Doga Kobo. The second season of Token Ranbu Hanamaru. I have no connection to that, so I'm not gonna say much about that, but it is airing on January 7th. Next up, we got Madchen, I don't know. By Hoods Entertainment. I've never heard of them either. But Hazuki Kagimura is a normal girl who is usually alone. With her relationship with her new family not going so well, she retreats every day to the world of stories and books. One day, after school, one of the library's bookshelves sends her to another world with a magic school where she meets Shizuka Tsuchimikado. She finds out that girls called Madchen who attend this school are selected by old fairy tales and folk stories to wield their magic and are taught how to wield it in the school. The school has girls who are chosen by such stories as Kaguya Hime no Monogatari, Isun Boshi, Der Fleischschützendoji, The Little Matchstick Girl, The Gigantic Turnip, Arthurian Legends, and the Ramayana. Hazuki herself is chosen by the Cinderella story. Huh. And that animation, that character design seems really interesting, and I like the way that they're designed, so I want to try that. That seems interesting. That's January 11th, so yeah. Next up, we got Killing Bites by Lead-In Films. People have been created that are human-animal hybrids, and powerful businesses bet on the outcome of their duels. College student Nomoto Yuya's casual acquaintances ask him to drive them around to pick up girls one day, which he soon finds out means by force. The girl they kidnap is an animal-human hybrid named Hitomi, who slaughters all of them except Yuya. Hitomi is a honey badger, which has been called the most fearless of all animals. Now Hitomi is assigned to stay with Yuya for his protection. Okay, so honey badger don't give a fuck in the anime. Alright, it's cool, I guess, whatever. January 12th, cool. Okay. Ryo no Oshigoto by Project Number 9. Never heard of them either. 16-year-old Kuzuryu Yaichi has fallen into a slump after winning the major shogi title Dragon King. The pressure of his losses continue until an elementary schooler called Hinatsuru Ai with an extraordinary shogi talent arrives at his doorstep. So obviously, anime about shogi is popular nowadays because March Comes in Like a Lion is about shogi. I have not seen much of that, but I do know that is one of the major plot points of that series. I don't know. I mean, it could be good. I don't know much about shogi to really say if it's going to be exciting or anything, but that is going to be airing on January 8th. If that sounds interesting to you. Next up, we got Gin no Guardian 2, which is the second season of Gin no Guardian by Howliners Animation League. Howliners, I believe, did Evil or Live, which you'll find out was not all that great. At least, I mean, it was tolerable, but whatever. I'll expand upon that in my roundup. But, so, I don't know. And, I mean, I remember Howliners is a Chinese studio, so it very well could... I mean, I know it's kind of unfair to say that all Chinese anime is bad per se, but I have yet to find one that I really enjoy, so maybe it'll be that season. I mean, it's the second season, so I probably won't watch it, but if season 1 is available, then I'll maybe try season 1. I don't know. Anyway. Ramen Daisuke Koizumi-san, which, oh my gosh, it's Studio Gokumi again, and I think this is going to be my Studio Gokumi series of the season. The gourmet comedy follows the daily life of Koizumi, a high school girl who looks like a cool beauty at first glance, but actually has an unexpected side of her that loves ramen. I love ramen as well. It's terrible for me, but I love it. So that said, I think I'm going to relate heavily with this series. Episode 1 airs January 4th, so that's kind of an earlier series, so I'm super excited to see how that goes. Next up, we got Uchu Yori mo Toibashu by Madhouse. There's another Madhouse series. The anime story centers on high school girls going to the South Pole, a place further than the universe. They struggle and grow together as they cope with extreme conditions. Oh, okay, this is the series, A Place Further Than the Universe. Okay, I think I've heard of that, the English title of that series. But, yeah, that seems weird, but interesting. They go to the South Pole, so... Why are they going to the South Pole? Are they going to try to freeze to death? Because that's what they're going to do. But that airs on January 2nd, so that is actually super, super close to 10 days from the time I'm recording this, so that's super close. Next up, we got Sanrio Danshi. Oh, I've heard of this. I've heard of this series based on just the base premise of it. Sanrio Danshi. The project's premise follows Kota Hasagawa, a high school boy that loves the yellow pom-pom-purin dog. By mere coincidence, he ends up attending the same school as Yu Mizuno, a boy who likes the bunny My Melody. Yu tells Kota that there's nothing to be ashamed of for liking Sanrio's cute characters. Together, Kota, Yu, Shunsuke Yoshino, Ryo Nishimiya, and Seiichiro Minamoto learn to accept their love of the characters instead of feeling embarrassed. That is by Studio Pierrot. I don't know. I might try it. I don't know. I don't know. This seems like one of those theories that you could easily have it set in a world where women don't exist. But I don't know. I guess there's nothing wrong with those kind of series. That's airing on January 6th if you are interested in a bunch of effeminate men who love Sanrio characters. Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way. But, yeah. Alright, next up is Slow Start by A1 Pictures. The story centers around 16-year-old Hana Ichinose, who, unbeknownst to her classmates, was a year late in enrolling into a high school. Although it may not seem like a big deal, it is a big deal to her. She wants to catch up with everyone else someday. Okay. So then that's the kind of A1 Pictures story that I really tend to enjoy. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. That is airing on January 6th. So, yeah. Idolish 7. Here's the Idol season, the Idol show of the season. I think they had the first episode on Crunchyroll. So I'm pretty sure it's airing on Crunchyroll. Unless they just decided to tease everybody by putting the first episode on Crunchyroll and then the entire series on Anime Strike. I have not seen the first episode yet, but I may want to check it out because as you may know, I am now in Idol Hell. But then again, I might try to get out of it. I don't know. Anyway, that's by Troika. A group of aspiring idols gather at Takanashi Productions and are entrusted with the company's future. The 7 men who have just met represent a variety of totally different personalities. Ugh. However, they each have their own charm and possess unknowing potential as idols. Forming a group, they take their first step together as Idolish 7. Their brilliantly shining dancing forms on stage eventually begin captivating the hearts of the people. Alrighty. Episodes 1 and 2 were pre-streamed on November 3rd. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, that's coming in January 7th. Next up, we got Yowamushi Pedal Glory Line. 4th season of Yowamushi Pedal. I have no connection with the series, so I can't say much about it, but if you're interested in that, it is airing on January 8th. Next up, we got Basilisk Oka Nimpocho by 7 Arcs. Now, I actually own one DVD from Basilisk, but I've never watched it. It was never really my cup of tea. I never really was interested in watching it per se, but they are bringing it back after so many years, so that's interesting. The battle for succession that continued for 3 generations of shogun in the Keicho era culminated in a gruesome battle of ninja arts between the Koga and Iga clans. Amidst the rain of flower petals, a man and woman who have decided to live for love were separated once again, beautiful in their transience. However, it is said that the hand of Hattori Hanzo's adopted son, Kiyohachiro, that these 2 flower petals, whether temporarily or permanently, were given life again and left 2 mementos behind. These children, born with a destiny of their own, were called Koga, Hachiro, and Iga Hibiki. The former had eyes like his father's, and the latter had eyes like her mother's. It is now the Kane era, and the land is at peace. As ninjas began to disappear into the shadows after being deemed unnecessary, the Koga and Iga clans ask a favor of Hachiro and Hibiki in hopes of reinforcing their foundations. Wow, that's a lot of information, and I really don't know what I just read. But, okay? Is it a reboot, or is it a continuation? Because if it's a reboot, I'll just watch this. But if it's a continuation, then I probably won't watch this. But either way, that is airing on January 8th, if you're interested in that. Okay. Next up, we got Mira no Kaikata by 8-Bit. Oh! It's 8-Bit. Oh no, 8-Bit's back. They're back with a vengeance, guys. They didn't get enough whenever they ruined Rewrite. But now they're back with another adaptation, maybe, of a manga. Oh no! Oh no! Oh god. Anyway, when high school student Sora Kashiwagi finds himself staring down a mysterious, oversized package sent to him by his self-proclaimed adventurer father, the last thing he expects is for it to be opened from the inside by a little mummy so small it can fit in the palm of his hand. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I don't know. What am I doing? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I don't understand. Why am I doing this? Why do I like anime? What the Uh, it's airing on January 11th if you're interested in that shit. Okay. Next up, we got Hakyu Hoshin Engi by C Station. New anime adaptation of the Hoshin Engi manga with a different voice cast. Thousands of years ago, it was a time of witchcraft and dark magic. An evil sorceress has bewitched the emperor of the mighty dynasty, and he has become a mindless puppet. The country is in shambles, and evil spirits lurk everywhere. The human world is on the verge of utter destruction. A bold mission is planned by the Confederation of the Immortal Masters. They send a young master wizard to hunt down the villains and evil warlocks in the devastated lands. Okay, that doesn't sound very interesting to me, but I mean, that's me. If you're interested in that, you can check it out on January 12th. Next up is Hattori Nishita, The Outcast, second season. Really? This got a second season. I watched the first episode of it back in the summer of 2016, and it was so unbelievably boring. But I guess it was good enough to get a season 2. So now I'm interested in, maybe I just have shit taste. I don't know. But yeah, because I remember right, it was like Tattoo Taboo, or Taboo Tattoo, but zombies. And I was like, Anyway, Dame X Prince Anime Caravan by Studio Flad. Flad, that's right. An adaptation of the smartphone game which will have an original story. That tells me all I need to know. The story of the game follows Ani, a princess from the minor nation of Inako. Ani is sent to the signing ceremony that will bring peace to the rival nations of Mildonia, a mighty military country, and Selenferen, the powerful theocracy. Ani is supposed to help steer the signing ceremony along, but she runs into trouble when she encounters a handful of obstinate princes. Okay. The fact that there is the word anime in the title, I don't know what to think about this, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Like, Anime Gatsuris had the anime in the title because there's a reason for it. I don't know what the reason for the word anime being in the title is, so I don't know. But it is based on a video game, obviously a smartphone game. January 10th for that one. Next up, we got the final arc of Gintama. Oh, maybe now I can actually start watching Gintama. But that's Gintama Gin no Tamashihen by Sunrise. That is to say I have not seen Gintama, but I do want to watch it. So one of these days I'm gonna start it, and maybe in a few years I will finish it. January 7th for that one. 15th Precure series, Hugto Precure, that airs on February 3rd. And then Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinka Lion by Oriental Light and Magic. In the franchise's story, Hayato Hayasugi, the train-loving son of a train museum curator, accidentally stumbles into his dad's secret research lab one day. Inside, he finds the E5 bullet train. As soon as he enters, he hears an announcement that a mysterious enemy, the Bachigami bee god, is attacking the city of New Saitama. Luckily, with the touch of his father's Shinka evolve card, the bullet train he's in transforms into a mighty robot, the Shinka Lion E5 Hayabusa. In the anime story, Hayato and other children will serve as conductors to pilot the Shinka Lion. The children must work together with the adults of the Shinkansen Ultra Evolution Institute to defeat a monster that looks like a jet black bullet train. No thanks. That's airing January 5th if you're interested in that. So now we got the leftovers, which include Mahotsukai no Yome, which I'm still watching, and that's really good so far. Black Clover, which I dropped after episode 3. Dias Irae, which I'm watching out of just pure amazement because it doesn't seem to understand what the show is about. I don't understand what the show's about. It doesn't understand what the show's about, but that's a different story. Sangatsu no Lion, which I need to watch more of because I really want to. It's a Shaft series, and I really want to see more of it. Gara Vanishing Line, which so that is 24 episodes. That's good. I'm excited for that. I need to actually catch up with that. Osumatsu-san is continuing. Pingu in the City, because of course, let's see, Mahoyome, which is apparently like a side skit thing for Mahotsukai no Yome. Kupao Yin Xion, I've never heard of that, but I didn't know it was. I guess it's not on Crunchyroll. I probably would have known about it. TV shorts. Now this is where things start to get really cool. Is because TV shorts. I tend to enjoy TV shorts just as much as I enjoy legitimate anime, long form anime. That is to say, like Nyanko Days was amazing. Love is Like a Cocktail is amazing, and they stand toe to toe with some of these longer form shows. So we got season 2 of Dagashi Kashi, which that's one show that I have yet to watch, but I did not know that was a TV short. I thought that was a full length 30-minute series, but I guess not. Tezuka Productions is taking the second season, which is changing the character designs, and I saw the character designs for the first season, and I was like, oh, these are really interesting, and comparatively, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not as big of a fan of the redesigns. But that is airing on January 11th. So they got Taku no Mi by Production IMS. 20-year-old Michiro Matsuki moved to Tokyo due to a change of career. She decided to live in a woman-only share house, Stella House Haruno, with people of different ages and occupations. It's always fun when there's delicious alcohol in a meal. I was interested in this, and I'm still interested in this, but I have heard that people have spoken out about how the studio who's doing this is not paying their people, and that's a little bit itchy, or not itchy. That's not the word that I meant. It's a little sketchy. It's a little sketchy in my mind. But I mean, I don't know what to think about that. I may end up watching it. Who knows? We'll find out. Nanatsu no Bitoko by Bridge. The 7 mortal sins, demons from hell, have pressed forward and have started to spread their plague. Heaven is in chaos, and the angels of the 7 heavenly virtues are sent to earth to search for a true candidate to become the true Messiah. Is this a sequel to the 7 mortal sins? I mean, I never watched the 7 mortal sins, but I know that I've heard of it, and if they continue, I didn't know that's another one I didn't know was a TV short. I thought this was a long-form series. But that is airing on January 26th, so keep that in mind if you were interested in that. 25 Sai no Joshikose. The romance story centers around Hana Natori, an earnest, good-natured 25-year-old woman whose cousin refuses to go to high school. Hana takes her cousin's place and attends the high school. On the first day, though, Hana's ruse is discovered by her former high school classmate Okito Kanye, who happens to be the high school's world history teacher. Okay, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. That's January 7th. Kaiju Girls Ultra Kaiju Ginjika Keikaku 2 by Studio Puyo Kai. Season of Kaiju Girls Ultra Kaiju Ginjika Keikaku, a show that transforms kaiju from the Ultraman live-action special effects series into cute, female, anthropomorphized animals. Because of course, Japan, everything can be transformed into a cute, female, anthropomorphized monster. Everything! World War II era battleships, airplanes, Santa, maybe? I don't know. And then we got GD Men. There's no description. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. What is this? What is this? I don't know. Anyway, that airs on January 8th if you want that. Anyway, okay. We get to the movies. Yes, we got Junibyo, Take On Me, which I'm really excited for. I really hope we get a screening in America. Hopefully Sentai does us a favor and airs this at Alamo or something. That'd be so great. I would love to see this. Rika is now a third-year student, but she still has Chunibyo syndrome. University entrance exams loom on the horizon, and it's spring break, and Yuta and Rika are together as usual. One day, Rika's older sister, Toka, declares that she's going to take Rika to Italy with her, as Toka is moving to Italy for work, and she thinks they should move together as a family. Yuta understands Toka's opinion, but thinks that at this rate, he and Rika will be separated. Shinka and the other members suggest that Yuta and Rika should elope, and thus sets the stage for Yuta and Rika's travels throughout Japan in their escape drama. So that seems really funny. I'm really excited to see this. Somehow, some way, I'm gonna watch this movie. I don't know when, how, where, why. I have to see this. Okay, I have to see it. I love the first 2 seasons, and I would like a third season, but if I don't get a third season, the movie's just as good. Okay. Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple. It's a movie that's coming out. The film's story involves a mystery case of power users around the world suddenly committing suicide one after another. In all cases, after a strange fog appears at the scene. At a request from Ango Sakaguchi, the armed detective agency head out to investigate Tatsuhiko Shibusawa, a power user who calls himself Collector, and a man suspected of being tied to the incident. So that seems to be a continuation from the Bungo Stray Dogs series, which I never finished, but it's still on my queue. So one day I will watch that, but either way. Sayonara no Asa ni Yakusoku no Hana no Kazuru. The story begins with Makia, who is from a family where all the members stop aging in their mid-teens. She has no parents, and although her days are peaceful, she feels lonely. Their peace is shattered when an army invades, seeking the secret to her people's immortality. Layla, the most beautiful girl in her clan, is taken away, and the boy Makia has secret feelings for her disappears. Magia is able to escape, but she loses her friends and her home. Wandering alone in the forest, she finds Ariel, a baby boy who has lost his parents. The story follows the changing relationship between the two as Ariel grows up and Makia does not. That is by PA Works, and that seems really, really fascinating, and I'm really hoping I have a way of watching that. I wish Crunchyroll, if you're watching this by some miracle, I don't know if you've thought about this, but it would be really cool to get some of these movies on the streaming service. I don't know if it's possible. It's probably very complicated. There's a lot of paperwork that goes into it, but y'all should really consider that because some of these movies are really interesting, and we're not able to watch them because they're not on any legal streaming service. Shingeki no Kyojin Kakuse no Hoku. We got the second season recap of Attack on Titan, so that's pretty cool that they're doing that. Mazinger Z movie. The film is commemorating the 45th anniversary of the original Mazinger Z series. It has been 10 years since then. Humanity awaits a new fate. Once humanity was on the verge of destruction at the hands of the evil scientist Dr. Hell and his underground empire, Koji Kabuto, his Mazinger Z super robot, and his friends at the Photon Power Laboratory put an end to Dr. Hell's evil ambitions and returned peace to the world. It has been 10 years since then. Koji has followed his father and grandfather and now walks the path of a scientist. He encounters a mysterious life form buried in a giant structure buried deep below Mount Fuji. A new encounter, a new threat, and a new fate await humanity. And Koji, who was once a hero, makes a decision for the future. It can be a god or a demon. Once again, the future is entrusted to Mazinger Z. I've heard of Mazinger Z, but I've never seen it, so that's another series that is just unknown to me. We got Tokimeki Restaurant Miracle 6, based on the mobile game Tokimeki Restaurant Star, where players control a new chef at a small restaurant who meets several male idols who live nearby that have the option to romance. Okay, so they're doing that. And then Eiga Doraemon Nobita no Takarajima. The story will be based on Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island novel. So that's a Doraemon Treasure Island crossover that you never knew you needed, but now you do. Then we got the OVA ONAs. I'm just going to name these off because I'm running out of time on my link, but we got the Real Life Conclusion. Oh, they're doing an OVA for Real Life, so I need to watch that. That's another series that I have yet to watch, more than the first episode of at least. Devilman Crybaby, the Science Saru, Devilman Project marking Go Nagai's 50th anniversary as a creator. Sequel to Days 2, obviously. I got Mob Psycho 100 OVA focusing on Reagan, so that's interesting. Be the Beginning, which I think I heard is going to be on Netflix at some point. But then we got Shinmai Mao no Keiyakusha Departures. No description there. And then Boku no Kanojo ga Maji Mesugiru Shobich Naken OVA. It's another series that I wanted to watch that was on Anime Strike! Sakura no Chikai Marone Yell Higashi no Hicho Shimotsuke Shino Yell. Okay. And then Tomika Hyper Rescue Drive Head Kido Kyokyo Keisatsu ONA. There's no description there. Okay, well, we finally made it to the end of the list. That's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I know I said there wasn't a lot of anime this season, but it turns out I was very, very wrong. So take from that what you will. What I want you to do now is, if you made it to this point in the video, 1, thank you very much for watching me talk for like an hour and a half straight. 2, go down to the comments. Let me know of all the titles that I talked about tonight. What are your top 5 that you are most excited for? These could be series, they could be the OVAs, they could be the movies, it could be anything. Whatever I talked about tonight, your top 5, what you are most excited to watch. And until next time, this has been Pixelation, reminding you to stay pixelated.